Dear people of Ambazonia, fellow brave warriors of our liberation movement, accept liberation greetings from me, Comrade John Akuro. Today is Friday, and this Friday is December 1, 2023. So we are decidedly on the last month of the year 2023. So 2024 is just around the corner. So I'll accept liberation greetings from me, Comrade John Akuro, this day. And folks, the communication of today is particularly important. Too important because I have a very, very vital document in my hands. I know that it is quite possible some of us might have passed through this document but would not have taken note exactly what this document was really all about. It might have passed flashed and we just looked through a bit and passed over it. But some higher within the system in La République du Cameroun of Southern Cameroon's extraction sent me this document with renewed attention. And I noticed that I had just seen, uh, almost a year ago, just the cover page and did not get the full content of this very important, demonic, but strategic document as far as our liberation movement is concerned. This document is a clear demonstration and a portrayal of exactly how La République du Cameroun has planned to manage our situation right from scratch to this moment where we are today. This document explains beyond reasonable doubt why La République du Cameroun continues to kill our people in huge numbers and with no remorse, and with all assurance that they will go scot-free, that nothing will happen to any of them. That is why this document, which is extremely important, I'm going to be dissecting it in parts. It's very important, but the part I'm taking today will be specifically the part that talks directly and specifically about the Southern Cameroons, about us, and the plans that the Beti elite have for the people of the Southern Cameroons. I guess by the time we go through just this broadcast of today, it will begin to dawn on some of us exactly why it is important for us to put all our forces together, because we're a doomed people. In any form of relationship with La République du Cameroun, we're a doomed people. We are a people without a future, a people cast with the power of limitation over our heads, a people generally seen as subhuman, and a people who are meant, this is not a joke, I'm not interpreting, you will hear, meant to be slaves to the citizens of La République du Cameroun. So you are just joining in, fasten your seatbelt. I know that the time now on ground zero should be about 8:30 p.m. Yeah, 8:30 p.m. I get it right. 8:30 p.m. Amber time on ground zero. And so if you are just joining in, fasten your seatbelt and let's go. Oh no, it seems I absolutely got it wrong. I don't know. Sometimes I take this should be 9 p.m. Okay, I see it's 9 p.m. I didn't look at my clock properly. It's 9 p.m. And so, folks, let's settle down to this very important broadcast. You're just joining in. Share and share and share as much as possible. And for live shows like this ones, what you need to do, continue to send the likes, continue to send the hearts. By the time you are sending those likes, those hearts, you are making sure that we on this platform will continue to have the opportunity to do this live broadcast, to do them live. Those hearts that you send, those likes, those 100% that you send, that's sharing. As you keep sharing and sharing, you are protecting this platform and this live broadcast, because we have been under attack for a long time now, and there are a lot of people who don't even get notifications once I'm live on this platform for this moments of sharing, moments of communion, and moments of absolute education. And so therefore, I'm doing my part by taking all the time to put together this material, to get this information, to bring here and share. So you do your part by sharing and sharing and sharing as much as possible, and by sending me the hearts, so that we will continue to push forward until we kick La République du Cameroon out of our territory. Before I get into the vivo of our discussion, of course, I'm not falling from space. I just got the news that Mr. Yeah, Maxime Ekoeko, who was the intelligence chief or the chief of the intelligence community of La République du Cameroun, who was detained at Nkondengi maximum security prison for involvement in the killing of journalist Martinez Zogo, alongside Belinga Amugu, who was said to have masterminded the whole thing, and that the final act was even carried out in the basement of his building, what they call the immeuble Ekan. That the two of them have been set free. I mean, free this first day of December 2023. So that tells all of us, of course, or it confirms what we already know, that La République is not a state of law. La République du Cameroun is not a state of law. That La République du Cameroun is actually in the hands of Satanism as we speak. We have continued to say once in a while, I say once in a while because we have not been so continuous on that we need justice for Samuel Wazizi. Now look at this. If the leopard can eat its own very one, what will it not do to the flesh of a pig? These people are people we should run away from with all our might and with all our energy. Trust me, folks, by the time I finish up with this broadcast, you who have turned your back to this liberation movement, you who are settling somewhere and telling yourself that, oh, let them go, it doesn't concern me anymore, by the way, I'm even dying here and all of those things, you will realize that this is an existential struggle in which we find ourselves. This war of liberation is an existential war for every single individual in the southern Cameroons. Because what is in this document doesn't concern just those of us who are involved with the liberation movement. It concerns everybody, including even those who are cooperating seriously with La République du Cameroun and thinking that they are seeing them as people. Trust me on that. You will not beat the feeling. So just settle down and let us begin somewhere. I want to start here by actually letting those people in the southern Cameroons who sit and think that their children who say they have dropped their toys and have gone to the DDR because they're tired of fighting, they want to go back to be rehabilitated, given capital, trained to get into a trade and return to normal life, that, like I said here before, they are just switching sides. This is Shinarambo. Who said he was tired, he was sick and tired of fighting, was sick and tired of being in the bush. This is him on his way back into the bush. But this time, you can see, wearing the military attire of La République du Cameroun. That is not the role of a DDR. When La République du Cameroun created a DDR, they actually never intended to, put in place a structure that will enable the demobilization and the disarmament and rehabilitation of those who are fighting. They intended it to be a training ground where they get free soldiers, not say free, soldiers who will fight, people who will fight for free, who will offer their life, sacrifice their lives for free for La République du Cameroun. Because Shinarambo and all of those other ones who are making noise all over the place, Kawa Yannick, the other one you call him Nasseri Clovis, and all of those folks, none of them have a public service code. None of them have been integrated into the military of La République du Cameroun. Not one of them. But what is happening is La République du Cameroun brings them into the DDR centers, train them to fight for them, and then in turn use them to take them through the bushes where they will have difficulties accessing. So they help them to locate those that they were fighting with yesterday so that they kill their own very dreams. This is what it is. This is exactly what it is. I've said this before and I'm repeating it. If you have your child who who was a self-defense volunteer and who got up and said, I'm tired, I want to, drop my toys, I want to go back to normal life, they are not going to normal life. They are just switching cams. My country people, make I repeat this one so that make every person here, may not tell me so you know here. You see, at the show na say na Shina Rambo be this. That one we be talk say it be na food soldier, no pity a brother. Now Shina Rambo be this way we see for video where say he don't surrender. He don't decide say he don't tire for fight, tire for day for bush. He want go now for DDR so that make them prepare you for make go back for community, go open some business, go back to normal life. But now Shina Rambo this, when I see him inside military uniform, inside motor or one inside helicopter with the soldiers of the Republique du Cameroun, they go back for bush. This time, he need to go back for bush. Now say he go back for bush. Now for go fight for what he believe in. He need to go back for bush this time. Now for go fight his brothers. And now so soon, we go hear say Shina Rambo don't be deleted. And it don't be deleted by who? By the same people we be the fight with yesterday. So what did La Republique du Cameroun do? La Republique du Cameroun open the DDR center now for operate for themselves a win-win approach. So that since their numbers and a lot of their people they already drop, they delete them, they require left and right, make them open a place where they go bring own boys and use only own boys and send them for front, make they go kill themselves and then they stand for behind, they watch. If you're picking, your brother, your family member, tell you say he be there for bush as self-defense volunteer, he don't tire, he want tell you say make it drop that toy for away day. Make it find road for come out from that country. Go find some place, rest. Take time, go reintegrate yourself. But if you go on the other side, means say you don't just switch the side where you go die for them. It's that simple. I talk this thing may enter every my ear very well. I don't tell who self-defense volunteers. See, one that they communicate with that boy them for DDR. Like Kawa Yannick them, like Nassery Clovism, like all the others. When I check say now brother they be go, they don't retire. Now that communication with them will lead to the deaths of plenty of them. I think say it be very clear with this picture now for each and every one. Say make you know exactly what did happen. And now why that way when they go sit, they call we Anglo fools. Anglo fools. Because they know. Say they go turn around, use only we for fight we until the point where we say now we don't tire. They come back quietly, can't take over land. That's exactly what is happening. We must be careful. Before I go into the beef of my conversation, I want to come back to this picture I was showing the other day. You see this picture? You see this time? 27 November. That 27 November, they been a ghost town day. From all indications, it shows some few bike riders. They let's say they be there about 5, or they be there like 6 or so. They be come out, so they then go. They go walk. They carry people inside Cape Town. They move around. Now we end up around the 5. They give them this particular paper. Listen. They don't relax this week like Republique du Cameroun. They need to chase people up and down. They need to worry. Say you must show this paper before no. Because they believe say make it be a bait so that by next Monday they go fit move from 5 to maybe 15 or 20. So that small according to them, they go succeed for kill the ghost town way. This ghost town. Now the people of Amazonia, their own personal approach, their own civilian approach for take fight this liberation movement. And then they talk so they recall. Because as a matter of fact, I don't get information from the ground. Say the self-defense volunteers, when they inside the bushes, they live with snakes, live with other wild animals, live with mosquitoes and face all kind of dangers. They put their life at risk for we freedom. Say they be mad when they realize say some few people them check say they fit destroy this same movement where they did die for and they go scot-free. So for that reason, some of them be actually there for Cape Town, be ready for spill blood. Fortunately enough, they will get calls from some people there for leadership for this liberation movement. Say may they tamper justice with mercy for now. Say may they calm down. Give room again for sensitization. My people, my role when I come for here, now for try for make sure say make we do everything for stay alive. And it talk so I dey insist. I no dey for gru. I no dey for kata. I no carry stick. My concern na the safety of the civilian population. Look out. You will come out that day, tonton, say go back for your house safe. You no be sure say the next time when you come out, you will go back safe. And the talk so repeat that over and over. Because if you die for that kind of stupid way, me I call it avoidable death. That thing where it will be fit avoid, make it not happen. No put yourself in harm's way because of La Republique du Cameroon. Better you park that bike for your house. Better you day off the road for 1 week, 2 weeks. La Republique go tire. They go need now back for road because as I be talking the last time, they need that money, that 200, 300, 500, who they give them for take survive. If they will say they capture all man because they never work for Monday, they know if they capture all man, they will end up still live with. Now the power that of unity. No isolate yourself. Because small time we go start highlighting struggle. Ho. Now we don't turn against ourselves. Now we kill ourselves. Whereas you know, see if I do this thing, I go run into trouble. Listen, it's not easy for carry toy enter bush. They sleep for all kind of horrible conditions. They fight for something. They make some other people and they was on side they check say the figure decide for 1 month to say they want to destroy that thing. You check say those people they go leave you. I know go advocate may they harm you. But when I read the mentality, the thought pattern where they will get them for their minds in those circumstances, it would be like say you put your finger inside their eyes. So my country people, make we do everything for stay safe. Avoid anything where you go bring your hand. Avoid them. No talks are there be talk. Me I dey for here now simply for talk say as civilians, may we do everything for stay safe. You see, I get this message. We come from me from one of the traditional rulers. On the ground, he said there for ground zero. Now why they beg me say, make I not read the name. He said good morning and a wonderful, he said and yesterday and a wonderful Thursday. I want to give my opinion about ghost towns. Ghost towns is a civil disobedience tool used by dissatisfied citizens of every country since from Indira Gandhi of India. Theirs wasn't ghost towns, but another method of civil disobedience. The Republic of Cameroon officials forcing the end of ghost towns without satisfying or resolving the grievances of Southern Cameroonians is a violation of the people of the Southern Cameroon's human rights. The so-called Southwest and Northwest regions, that's the English-speaking region of Cameroon, had wanted even semi or quasi-autonomous powers, but that has never been given them. I just hate to hear that word given, but I said the read way to way writer. The two governors of the so-called Northwest and Southwest are French Cameroon citizens. The majority of senior divisional officers in English Cameroon are French Cameroon citizens who manage with difficulty to speak a word in English only on cameras to deceive the world, etc. Please, let's wage a diplomatic war against the Biya government's intransigence. They are bent on keeping Southern Cameroonians subjugated. Ghost towns are the people's way of wanting a peaceful way of resolving the almost 7 years long conflict. Please, I pray we look to this because the actions of the colonial governors and senior divisional officers' actions in Kumba Meme division to forcefully stop ghost towns by killing people in the southern Cameroons is unacceptable. This one, he named the day, he everything they for you. Me I know ye. I no go read the name because, as a matter of fact, as I talk am, is in need for stay alive. So this chief, we dey on the ground, he decide for use this forum for see he dey add his voice, he dey on the ground, he said the undergo those ghost towns. For talk say make every person continue for remain strong. That's something this way we need for put am very deep for we heads. Once we do and so, we will be on the right footing. That said, my people, I want to come back now to the real subject matter of these communications. But before I go in, I want to give a prelude. We have all watched this video by some Betty chiefs. And people are like, oh, it's already started. I want to tell you exactly what this is. Watch it a bit.
Akap Ani Washington. Whoa! Washington. Whoa! Whoa! What okay? Apolbia. Mimba. Fana! Na! Fana! Na! Nuabu! Abu! Nuabu! Abu! Nuabe! Abe! Apolbia Nuasang! Asang! Nuasang! Asang! Apolbia Oyo! Oyo! Apolbia Oyo! Oyo! Apolbia Osu! Osu! Apolbia Osu! Osu! Apolbia Kandang! Apolbia
So, my people, you see this video? This is what they call mind games. Absolutely, this is what they call mind games. Listen, if they really had something that they could do to force their way, to force the Betty hegemony into the hearts and minds of the people and subdue the people completely, they will not come to do this in the public. This is what they call mind games. They are doing this to send shock waves, to frighten the rest of the country, to frighten everyone. Say, look, we have all kinds of esoteric powers. This is mind games. It's just the beginning. The last time I showed here, it was about Frank Biya, not to President Jean. They even forgot that Paul Biya, when he came to power, was 47. When he became president, was 47. Frank Biya is now 50 and counting. So say two premier President Jean. Look, what I'm saying. This thing you watch is mind games. Kill it. Which village, which ethnic group in that country doesn't have its own band of sorcerers or very strong traditions or doesn't have cosmic powers? These people, you see, what they think that they are displaying here, they can't go closer to the people of Oku. If it gets to a point where it is voodooism, I'm afraid they know very well that they are non-starters. But they know not everyone will have the courage, the public protection to go out there and perform this kind of thing against them. They know it. Because they know if anybody dares perform anyone, the next day they are running after all of you to arrest you, lock you up, shoot you, or do whatsoever. They know. These are mind games. And for the people of La Republique du Cameroun, that's your business. But for us, the people of Ambazonia, ignore this trash. We have to stay focused on getting this demonic set of people out of our land. I've said this here before, and I'm reiterating it. But now let me get into this document. That was just an aside. Let's get into the real show. Look at this document. You see it there? Like I said earlier, it's possible you might have seen the cover too, just as I saw it. Stratégie de conservation du pouvoir au Cameroun, de génération en génération, par le régime via RDPC. When you see the things that are going on the ground right now, you definitely clearly come to terms with that reality that what is contained in this document is not a joke. You come to terms with the reality that those Beti people actually mean what they are saying. Although that demonstration is mind games because they don't have the powers to get all the way. They want to send fright and shockwaves down the spines of the people. But beneath this, they have a clear plan. They have a clear vision. They have a clear strategy on how to subdue everybody and make sure that they subdue us, Amazonians, for at least 3 to 4 more generations to come. This is contained in this document that you see. I just shared the cover. Now, let me just give you a bit of what the preamble is. Then I get into the section that concerns us today. There are several sections, and I shall come to each section, one by one. Because if I bunch everything here, we'll be here for 10 hours. But I don't want this particular show to be beyond 1 hour 30 minutes because it's definitely going to be a bit long on basis of what I have here. So, they say pour les événements du 22 septembre 2020, dont la marche pacifique sur tout l'étendue du territoire national lancée par le leader du MRC Maurice Kamto, ayant pour objet la révision du système électoral et la fin de la guerre au nord-ouest et au sud-ouest, les forces de l'ordre doivent procéder aux arrestations, aux Fassi, Bamileke et colorées seulement avec les autres tribus. Did you hear that? And this is exactly what happened. That's why you have the Mamadou Mokhtar and all of the others in prison. It was part of the plan. It is written here, top secret. It was part of the plan. I'm saying things that are already because they are implementing this systematically. And you'll find that as I get into the section concerning us here. Because you see, they said for that demonstration that Kamto had called on the 22nd of September 2020, we recall that it was to request for the reform of the electoral system and to protest protest against the ongoing genocidal war in the southern Cameroon. So they said they should go ahead and arrest a lot of the Bamilikis, all of the leaders who were Bamilikis, and only pick a few people from other tribes and add there to give the semblance that it is not only Bamilikis that they were targeting. Does that already begin to give a sense? Check all of those who are in jail today. We have the Bibu Nisak, we have the Mamadou Mokhtar, and the others. You will find that people like Zamboe and the others, those are the real people who were targeted. You notice that to further break Zamboe and everything, they even went ahead to claim his wife. That is their business. That's not what concerns me. I want to go to exactly where the crux of today's issue is, because I will come to other parts for our general information in subsequent broadcasts. It's important for us to know this, because we say, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth will set you free. So they say des anglophones, that's how they refer to us. Nous savons qu'ils ne veulent pas la sécession, mais pour gagner gros, nous devons les accuser de séparatisme et de terrorisme. Does that make some sense? They say this. For them, they actually believe in their minds, because that's what some people tell them. Because that's what you even heard them say at some point, that they have talked with a lot of our leaders, and our leaders are actually open to accepting any other thing, or talk to people in the leadership of our liberation movement, and they're open to any other arrangement except cessation or except total separation. And so that's why they affirm here, because you heard the French woman say at the European Parliament, the French woman, that a lot of Southern Cameroonians have rather escaped into La République du Cameroun. They are living well in La République du Cameroun. They are well accommodated there. They are investing. They are working in farms. They are building schools. They are building this and that. That's a clear indication that the problem is not La République du Cameroun. The problem is us. And therefore, they know that they bear in mind that what we want is not separation, actually. They know. That's what they feel. But they are going to paint it to mean that we want separation, and they will accuse us of secessionist tendencies and terrorism. Have you noticed that they never make a single word? They'll say like terrorist ambazonian, the terrorists, the terrorists, the terrorists. They struggle to sell this to a deadly point. It has not worked. But what they needed to do was to make sure they get some in our midst to be the ones saying this thing. It's the truth, that they get people in our midst to be the ones considering that and saying that we are the problem. Because this statement is clear and speaks for itself. Nous savons qu'ils ne veulent pas la sécession. Mais pour gagner gros, they say, but to make sure they subdue us, break us, make sure that we come out of this weaker than we went in. Did you hear that? That we come out of this weaker than we went in. Because when they heard Honorable Weber say we were never conquered at war, they have to get to that place where we end this thing, we subject ourselves far worse than it was before. That is why they have to go higher, accuse us of secessionists and terror of secessionism and terrorism. You know, they started doing this even before we actually veered, because at that early beginning, in 2017, when they were meeting with members of the consortium in Bamenda, what was fashionable was a request to return to the two-state federal system that existed in 1961. And so that's a position that perhaps they retained in their minds. They failed to recognize we had veered and that this veering is irreversible. But they say they needed to take the upper hand, accuse us in this manner, so that they will have the international community isolating us, giving them the possibility to subdue us completely, so that by the time we come out of this, we'll be on our stomachs crawling and begging them. So they say, nous devons tout faire pour que leur sens de rigueur soit perçu comme du gauchisme et tourné en ridicule par les autres citoyens. That they have to do everything so that this our continuous uprightness, showing that we know our right, we want our this, so they have to make it come across as ridicule, so that they should make us come across as laughable, as laughing stock before the rest of the citizenry of the country, of the 8 regions that constitute La République du Cameroun. And of course, you recall, they did just that. To get there, they have to continue using some of our people. They have to continue using some of our people. They have to get our people to call us names, to call us those terrorists. I'd like you to listen to this very short thing here by Kawa Yani.
Good morning, my brothers and sisters from Manu Division. Good morning, my brothers and sisters for Southwest Region. And my brothers and sisters home and abroad. My name is Kawa Yani Kawa. Since I don't announce so I didn't man feel I say I not be one first make me people be aware. Say I didn't man feel now for close to 2 weeks. My brothers and sisters from Manu. This coming one I come man feel I no come na enjoyment coming. I come now for work. As I be talk say it is time. My brothers and sisters from Manu. Which I want make inform and I say for this short time we don't carry some small operation them. We don't destroy the camp of Bakut. We destroy the camp and all the properties will be owned by those Ambazonian terrorists, Papi and gang. We don't displace many of them.
So I even want to end there. I don't want to go too far because there's no time listening to a lunatic and a lost soul like this one. But what I wanted us to hear and understand, this is Kawa Kawa Yannick, a son of the southern Cameroons, an Ambazonian, referring to his own people as terrorists. Sounds familiar now from this document. Nous savons qu'ils ne veulent pas la sécession. Mais pour gagner gros, nous devons les accuser de séparatisme et de terrorisme. Did you get that? They have to get our own people to do things to get us to that place where it's easy to conclude that yes, that is who we are. Watch this again.
Dis-moi avec qui tu dînes ce soir, je te dicterai le menu. Retrouvailles et convivialité étaient servis en apéro à la résidence du lac. À la table du Premier ministre chef du gouvernement Joseph Diane Goté, 46 couverts, autant de convives, parlementaires et membres du gouvernement. Parmi les présents significatifs, l'ancien Premier ministre Peter Mafani Moussongué, la vice-présidente de l'Assemblée nationale.
Cette atmosphère est créée par le chef de l'État qui a donné une opportunité pour un de nos fils, le docteur Chief Dion Ngouté, pour être Premier ministre chef du gouvernement. Nous sommes très contents. Nous avons un privilège d'entrer dans le résident officiel, de communiquer ensemble, de discuter des choses qui sont devant nous, notamment question de l'insécurité au sud-ouest et nord-ouest.
2 plats de résistance ont été servis à tous les invités et ont nourri les échanges. Le retour à une paix durable et définitive dans le sud-ouest et le bilan des appuis multiformes que le gouvernement apporte à travers les initiatives présidentielles visant à ramener la paix et à relancer les activités économiques génératrices de revenus dans la région. De 19h à 22h, soit 3 heures de convivialité, de fraternité et de partage, suffisant pour lever le verre à la santé, à la paix et à la prospérité de retour dans le sud-ouest.
So, you look at that video. I'm not so interested about the content. What is interesting in this video is that, you see, la République du Cameroun is the aggressor. La République du Cameroun has burnt and reduced to ashes over 400 village settlements in the southern Cameroons. La République du Cameroun has burnt old, vulnerable, handicapped people alive. La République du Cameroun has killed even babies, like Bébé Carol Louise in Boya, like Bébé Tato Brandy in Bamenda. La République du Cameroun slaughtered a handicapped person and actually skinned him on motion television, Samsoya in Bamenda. La République du Cameroun gathered young people, women, including a pregnant woman in Gabu, over 26 of them, and killed them in the most brutal manner possible. La République du Cameroun did that. La République du Cameroun conducted the murder of school children in a school in Kumba. Same thing in the Kondo Titi. La République du Cameroun has done all sorts of horrible things, even raped. Raped lactating mothers, and were caught. And there were claims that they will be. But these are not La République du Cameroun citizens coming together, or La République du Cameroun officials coming together to say, let's plan and see how to go and sit with these people and apologize for what has happened and arrange to sit on a negotiation table to discuss justice and peace. No! They make it come across as if we are the problem. And so our so-called elite need to put themselves together to come and meet us so we find a solution to a problem they have created. This is not just an embarrassment. It is not just ridicule. It is dehumanization. And it falls in line with this first statement that they made here. Very clearly, that they made here very well. Nous devons tout faire pour que le sens de rigueur soit perçu comme du gauchisme et tourné en ridicule par le reste des citoyens. So they begin by guarding this so-called bunch that are passing for our elite, ridicule them and tell them, you go and look for a solution. Their soldiers are on the ground killing, burning, raping, looting, doing everything. It's not them talking, you. And you hear Fortabetando say there. I used to call him chief. Basinada is a numbskull. You hear him say there, we are very excited that the president has appointed one of us until we have the privilege to come to the official residence. Fortabetando, a business magnate in the petroleum sector. The government officials are supposed to be begging to receive him in those residences. Not him crawling on his stomach to thank poor Biya for making it possible for him to visit an official residence. What a shame. What an embarrassment. I'm taking time to explain this and illustrate so that we see this is not fiction. No. Next, they say, gardons à l'esprit que les accords auraient été passés entre la France et l'Angleterre, accords par lesquels ces dernières renonçaient à toute revendication historique sur le Cameroun anglophone. Of course, they're reminding us what we know, but they are telling themselves, reassuring themselves, that take note that Britain and France had come to an agreement according to which the British renounced any kind of claim or any closeness or any kind of of fraternity or whatever with the people of the southern Cameroons. Meaning, at the imperial level, cover blown, and we are on our own. Exactly what I've been saying. Like I said, they need us to charge us. They have all these covers. And so they need to tell the world we are terrorists, and they need us, use us to tell the world that we are the problem. Watch this one again.
So you can look at what is happening in the bushes. Look at what Cameroonians, the torture given to our children because of the terrorists. Look at the magnitude of violence. Look at the magnitude of violence done to our children by the terrorists. We cannot accept things like that. So the defense forces are here to protect the local population against atrocities like this.
So you see that. This is Atanga Ponji from the southern Cameroons. This is some man that they themselves have tortured, cut their hands, and they need to show now to the people, make La Republique du Cameroun the victims, make us our own aggressors, make us the problem, and then bring the problem to come to be the solution. Now I tell you, you see, and he uses what word again? Terrorists. Mind you, that is what La Republique du Cameroun wants. That we should be seen. Not as people seeking what is truly ours. We are secessionists and we are terrorists. And they use our people to be the ones to tell the world that that is who we are. And that's why you see when Atanganji talks and finishes. What does he say? He says that the forces of law and order are here to do what? To protect you against yourself. To protect us against us. If I go back to Kawa Yannick, who was speaking a while ago, after Kawa Yannick and his gang
things that don't happen
were brought to Manfi, to Egbeko, and they slaughtered people mercilessly. The objective was so that after that, they will now bring them in from the DDR with the terrorist soldiers of La Republique du Cameroun who they support their talks, and they will now come and pose as the solution. And the people should now look up to them to protect them against themselves. Listen to Kawa again, small. I hate to play him, but you need to understand this point. Listen.
My brothers and sisters from Manu, all which with me, I go advise and I go let una know. Our chiefs and elite them. Most of the time, I talk so hard, I talk too harsh for some of una because of una. The reason I say una no care, because if una for care, I know for the talk harsh towards una. To that, it may can be known to Ademanfe, and things them no they go well for my side. Some things the way una they think and say I'm benefiting from all that my movement where I work so I be close to 4 days for bush. I work, I get blisters and for my foot, I scratches them for my skin. All those work so I go work them so they need to pay me 100 francs. I mean the security forces are not giving me anything. I am doing this because I love say one day me man you be a good place for we all again. Me man you be our home and forever may be our home. As I be earlier talk, more left tribalism aside and do what is right. My brothers and sisters them, our chiefs and elite them. It is time for we for stop all this nonsense them. It is time for we for be one. It is time for una for show una support towards me and all man we fight against Amazonian terrorism for Manu. Now not time for call me to advise me on how.
So I'm letting him go there. So you see, it keeps evolving. After they got into Manu, got into Egbeko, slaughtered people mercilessly, they have to come back as a solution. That was meant to bring fear, make everybody start trembling. And then at the end of the day, turn around and say, it is your children who did it to you. And so we are coming here to protect you against your children. That's why I say protect you against you. Protect us against us. It takes us back exactly to what I'm talking about. And to make it clearer, to make it better, they bring some of these lunatics, these lost souls from the DDR, to come and be the ones to say that, and here he will keep repeating terrorists. We, the people of the southern Cameroons, the people of Amazonia, are the terrorists, while the Republique du Cameroun soldiers, who are committing all kinds of horrible atrocities, are the saints, are the solution. That is what it is intended to be. It is written. Soon you will say that it was from a figment of my imagination. It is here. It is written. And so I just read a clause regarding France. But before I go there, let me go again to some of the parrots. Because you need to see this. This is another parrot. Listen to her.
The fight started. They said the lawyers were fighting, the teachers were fighting. And I was in that fight 100%. And then suddenly I heard is Ambazonian. I don't know what Ambazonian is. I want them to explain to me because I don't know exactly who they are and what they are doing and who is their leader and what is their assignment. Can somebody come on this page and educate me well who Ambazonians are? I want to know exactly what is going on in Cameroon. I want to know what is happening in the southwest region. Some of us, I cannot go home. The fight started. They said the lawyers were fighting, the teachers were fighting.
So you see that? That's another parrot. All of these people, they gather them, they bring them, they are making all the noise. It is not citizens of La Republique du Cameroun. No. They are the lost souls in our midst that they use, and they make them use all those hard words on us so that they tell the world, here it is them, saying that they are the problem. And like you said, I say it is clearly written. They have to do everything so that the fact that we think that we are very upright, we are people who know our rights, who can stand for what we believe in, the rest should see it as stupidity and a source of ridicule. This is how they proceed. They use us. They make us see ourselves. We are the problem. We are secessionists. We are terrorists. We are everything that hates to be heard. It's not over. Here again.
Someone's knee is on the neck of Southwesterners. And this is the moment we should get out of what it is. We have been called to keep quiet and not to tell the truth. Take this. The man who surrendered in Tian was number 2 to General Tenkobo. In his revelation, he says that they received orders from abroad to execute the delegates. Who gave that order from abroad? Let the name be made public so that all the facets of the state, the government, civil society, the press, activists, advocacy should be launched so that the world should release who gave that devilish order.
So you see, that is Mbela Moki. So hot there and everything, and he makes a very important request, because the government of La Republique Cameroon said they know the names. Because he said that he was told. If he's told, it means that they have that so-called second in command to Ten Kobo, who told them that the orders came from abroad, and he definitely has the name of whoever gave those orders from abroad that could be released. And Belamoki, a so-called senator, requests that that name should be released so that the people should be brought to book. And Belamoki I support. But La République du Cameroun, that is in the keeping of that so-called second in command to Tenkobo, who is supposedly at the DDR, has refused to release that name. Why? Because there is more to it than Belamoki knows. Because Belamoki is just a useful idiot being used to vehicle such gibberish. Will it not be in the interest of La République du Cameroun to release that name? To bring that so-called gentleman who's at the DDR, so you should give the name, so I say, oh, this is the person, and then they go after him? No. I said it earlier, as I was reading here. The plan is to make our determination, our resilience, our focus on ensuring we regain our freedom to come across as stupidity as a source of ridicule to the rest of the citizenry of La République du Cameroun. You will hear more. But like I said, this particular point is very important and there's a lot to illustrate. That's why I want all of us to go together. These are videos you have seen. But the context in which you are watching them now is totally different. So that you grow to understand what this document is all about. Listen to this other one.
I am among the Black-leg community that we are working in collaboration with the forces of law and order to share information. We are on social media to denounce this. We send information every time to the United Nations and all international organizations concerned to decry these atrocities. We are on TV and radio to denounce them. And when such a thing happens and we realize that one of us that will always come out to decry such things the way we have been killed. This is not the first one, Mr. Seth Alain Otto. We have black legs that have been buried alive in Moyoka because they collaborated with the forces of law and order. I am among...
So you see, that is Robert Kedia from Gokotunja. Because you don't think that they're from across the board. That's Robert Kedia from Gokotunja. Brought here says it's of the black leg community, and that they are facing serious torture and annihilation because they are collaborating with the forces of La République du Cameroun to enslave their people in every liberation movement. I'm not the one creating the word. I'm talking history. Black legs have always been legitimate targets. That's what it is. Black legs have always been legitimate targets because they are seen as sellouts who have decided to stand on the way to become obstacles to the attainment of the general goal of the masses. That's what this is. Now you see, La République du Cameroun like to use this kind of people. Use us. We kill ourselves. When you make yourself a black leg, you make yourself a legitimate target, and they slaughter you and throw on the ground there. To the rest of the citizens of La République du Cameroun, you are idiotic. You are stupid. You are laughable. You are killing yourselves. That is what it is. It is enshrined in this document. Look at Lukong in Jakiri. Who cares? Who has said anything about it? He showed bravado to go there and march for the CPDM to support Cameroon. What happened to him? Who talks about it again today? Nobody. Look at the Pasi, who was principal in Gokotunja there, and who was a mayor for the CPDM, for the government of Cameroon, appointed by them because there were no elections on our territory. He is diseased. Who is talking again about him? Nobody. They pick Kwetong Anderson Konge, who is from Gokotunja, and send me say, since you have shown a penchant that you can destroy your people, and this is a hot zone, any of us will go there and die. Go there, torture your own people for us. And Kwetong Anderson Konge is living up to the billing. They ridicule. The same thing with the gentleman who is in Bui. He is also from Bui extraction. How often does La Republique du Cameroun appoint people to become administrators in their areas of origin? No. It is the ridicule that we're talking about in this document. And they have to make it clearer to us that we are nothing, that we represent nothing. That is why they planned that they needed to burn down Sonara. Reduce Sonara to its barest expression, so that they would then turn around and tap money from insurance and use that money to construct a new refinery in Kridi. You see, until now they are pretending, oh, we want to do this, we are getting more equipment there in Limbe. No! The immediate plan that's on the table now is to be a refinery in Kridi. And I want to prepare our minds. I want us to recognize that we are making noise. Sonara is contributing nothing. Actually, on the contrary, it is a problem to them. So they want to ridicule us to the point where we start thinking that no, truly we are an empty shell that are even depending on them. If you're doubting, watch this report.
The National Oil Refinery Company, Sonara, is the most indebted public company in Cameroon. Sonara owes over 277 billion francs CFA, according to a report from the Sinking Fund of Cameroon. Now, for me, Armstrong Sanda, this report presents the situation as far as the debts of public companies in Cameroon are concerned. Details coming up.
The document says as of June 30th, 2022, the total internal debts of public enterprises and establishments stood at 392.8 billion francs CFA. On the list of most indebted public enterprises, the National Oil Refinery Company, Sonara, tops. Sonara alone is indebted to the tune of 277.6 billion francs CFA, representing 70% in this category. In details, Sonara owes 247.2 billion francs CFA to banks and 28.8 billion francs CFA to suppliers. Next to Sonara, the Cameroon Airlines company Cameco has a total internal debt of 62.4 billion francs CFA. On the third position, and immediately after the Cameroon Airlines company Cameco, is the Douala Port Authority, the PAD, with an internal debt of 17.9 billion francs CFA. Next to the Douala Port Authority is the Cameroon Telecommunications, Camtel, with 15.9 billion francs CFA. Camwater, which is yet to find a formula to the repeated water crisis in towns and cities in Cameroon, has a total debt of 5.2 billion francs CFA as of June 30th, 2022. Other highly indebted public enterprises and establishments includes the Cameroon Development Corporation, the CDC, with 9.4 billion francs CFA, the MI2 with 3.3 billion francs CFA.
Okay, let me spare you the trouble of going through the entire report. Like I said, these are reports you have seen before, but the context within which I want you to look at these reports now is in the light of this document I have in my hands. If you are just joining this show, make sure that you're hitting on the share button. Get as many of our people as possible to watch this. The greater part of this document, I'm still getting into it. But I'm still struggling right up to this point. Not struggling, I'm making sure right up to this point to illustrate what they said in this first article, because they are very vital and very fundamental to our careful understanding of exactly what is going on. I will come to other footage. Let me get back to this document. So they say, gardons à l'esprit que les accords auraient été passés entre la France et l'Angleterre, accords par lesquels cette dernière renonçait à toute revendication historique sur le Cameroun anglophone. Of course, I've mentioned that there was an agreement between France and Britain to the effect that the British sold us. Let me use that word and we'll get away from it. No point dragging on that. Sold us to the French. And so the British will never ever intervene for whatsoever, no matter what happens on this territory, because they got into an agreement with France and handed us over. They were their property. They handed us over. They ceded us to France. And then it continues. Of course, that's not something new. We have seen the attitude of the British ever since this genocidal war launched by the Republique du Cameroun on our people has been ongoing. We have seen the attitude of the British government. It's very, very clear. Sometimes we're just saying it, but now they have it written in their strategic planning documents. The next point, they say, et d'autres accords auraient été passés entre le Cameroun francophone et la France pour que jamais un anglophone ne devienne président de la République dans ce pays. Did you hear that? Did you just hear that? That after the agreement between France and Britain, there was another agreement between France and French-speaking Cameroon to the effect that a southern Cameroonian should never ever, did you hear that very well, should never ever become president in that country. Someone should tell Comrade Agbobala, let me call him Comrade, he was yesterday. Someone should tell Agbobala, I tried to look for the video where Agbobala was screaming, crying during their so-called Grand National Monologue and saying we're begging that they should even just talk about federalism. And I recall Minister Ngolem Wese, who was the chairman of that committee on decentralization, say clear that his mandate was to make sure not a word is said about federalism. They use us to gainsay us. While Agbobala was crying and screaming federalism and all whatnot, of course we heard Archbishop Nkea, the Archbishop of the Bamenda Ecclesiastical Province, say that during that same conference, the late Mfon Mukete stood up when talks came about federalism and said they don't want to hear anything that links them to the Bamenda people. They said it. They use us, to divide us, to mutilate us. Yet, at their level, we are all the same people that need to be subdued. There is no one who is privileged. No! And that is why, as soon as Mfon Mukete died, because he did his dirty job very well, he had to be rewarded by his son, who succeeded him, becoming senator when he was senator. It became an inheritance. They push it further. They say, c'est dans cette optique. It is here. By the time I finish exporting this document, I will share it again. I'll put it again in circulation. C'est dans cette optique que la victoire de Ni John Fundi fut détournée en 1992 sans que l'Angleterre ne trouve à dire. You hear that? They affirm that Ni John Fundi won the presidential election in 1992. But because there was this agreement signed between, or entered into between, French Cameroon, that's La République du Cameroun, and France, that nobody of Southern Cameroon's extraction will ever become president in that country, that they were able to overturn Fundi's victory, and the British could not cough because of this agreement. The British could not cough. Do you recall seeing tweets from Honorable Thibault Nagy saying that if what is happening to Southern Cameroonians was happening to Quebec, to the Quebecois in Canada, France would be on top of the roof everywhere screaming and shouting loud. But he is shocked that the Anglo-Saxon community around the world has abandoned the people of the southern Cameroons. But the reason is simple. Because the British sold us to France. And they are standing by the argument. They are considering argument is agreement. You listen to Rebecca Tinsley, who said, forget about reminding the British that they did this. The British don't want to be reminded. It irritates them because as far as they are concerned, they were done with us. They had handed us over as property. This is why I say on this platform always, we are on our own. And a people who are on their own work together. They bunch together. A people who are on their own and know that they are on their own, know that they need to pull their forces together in order to make some sense. We need to pull our forces together. You cannot get out and sit there and say, oh no, I'm not part of this struggle anymore because for Republique du Cameroon, you are an Amazonian. You heard Nambere say that. For La Republique du Cameroon, you are a Southern Cameroonian. And when La Republique du Cameroon will be descending on your family, they won't care who you are. You will see that again further. My people of Amazonia, I'm talking especially to those who backslided. To those who shifted because you thought you were offended for one reason or the other. This offending is intended, is a strategy by La Republique du Cameroon to make sure we turn against our own freedom. We turn against our own aspiration. Don't ask me, don't know where to contribute money to pull this struggle forward. Where it will not be in one person's pocket. Go to www.onepodrelief.org. Check your accounting. Put the money there. We need to be more determined than this. We need to be more set than this to get La Republique du Cameroon out of our country. So you see, they are clear. So for those who are there saying, oh, the Third Republic in Cameroon should be English. You hear someone who say, yes, it's true, the Third Republic should be English. Really? You must be daydreamers. You will recall that France has done everything possible to make sure that this issue doesn't come up before the UN Security Council. That France will do everything to block everything everywhere. That is why, as a more united people, we will reduce La Republique du Cameroon to that level where they are the ones calling us to the negotiations table. This is why I've said this always. Some have attacked me. Let me be very clear here. What you need to know. You find people in this liberation movement, they come up, they say they are activists. All what they are doing is attacking one person or the other in this liberation movement. And they target anyone that has credibility. Surprised? To hear someone come to, oh, Mba Akuro is not Chuayaba. Oh, Mba Akuro, he did not call out Chuayaba. Yes, look at the people of Momo there, he did not call out Chuayaba. This is going on. All these people, they are in their roles. Absolutely in their roles. The only intention is make sure you attack every credible platform in this liberation movement. So that, because they fear, when the people continue to listen, the people continue to follow this education, they fear that when the people know, they will go free. The best way to handle this, attack the messenger. To the point say, oh, Damba Akuma, I cannot listen to him. Oh no, that one I cannot listen to him. No. What is he saying? I can't listen to him. Oh yeah. Listen, folks. I said here 1,001 times, I'm not in the business of popularity. I'm here to fight for the battle of my life, the war of my very existence. And I know you too are entrenched in the same war. That is why, as a people, we need to shun all of this. Focus, work together. We need to stop supporting people who are planted in our midst, whose role is basically to make sure they keep dividing and making a ridicule out of us. That's what it is. A true activist for our freedom will never focus on bringing down other comrades in this liberation movement. They will focus on telling us how to get La Republique du Cameroun out of our land. Go to their platforms. From outing number 1 to number 20, they even have the means to be out there every day. Outing number 1 to number 20, it's this one has done this, that one has done that, that one is up, that one is down. It's a distraction. And they use those same ones to incriminate us, because they make those same ones accuse us of crimes they commit. And they now say, these are people who are with us, who are involved, who know this. They use them to validate that we committed those crimes. We have to be vigilant. I say this repeatedly. So they say here, c'est dans cette optique que la victoire de Ni John Frundi fut détournée en 1992 sans que l'Angleterre ne trouve à dire. That the British could not say anything because their hands were tied. And it goes on. Cependant, la peur d'une revanche anglophone n'est pas totalement négligeable. You hear that? They said, notwithstanding, the fear of some anglophone or southern Cameroonian revenge is non-negligible. But they go on. Les anglophones se plaignent de leur marginalisation, mais avec le soutien de la France, la menace est moindre. Did you hear that? That southern Cameroonians are complaining about their marginalization, their torture, their dehumanization and everything, but with the support of France. You know, they don't have any big worry. They don't have a lot to worry about. Because why? All the atrocities that they commit, the French are there to cover their tracks. Because why? No matter what they do, the French are there with the veto power at the UN Security Council to say it should never be discussed. This is why I have said here 1,001 times, we have the people power. We have the finances to put together. If we put together our finances, all of us, we will be able to make La République du Cameroun tell France, look, please, we can't bear it again. We can't stand it. This is why I've said 1,001 times. Don't worry. Anytime we want to say, oh, we are making, if it is not La République du Cameroun that gets to that place where they see that now like this, if we don't go to the negotiation table, we will crumble. We are going to go nowhere. France itself, with their ouster from Mali, from Niger, from Burkina Faso, from Guinea, and perhaps some other French-speaking countries that are coming, France is beginning to face serious economic woes. It's not taking long. So my people, we are on our own. We must fight like a people know they are on their own. Unity of purpose should normally be our watchword. That is what it should be. Because they said they have France. I will come back here. But let me go again to show you how they use us to ridicule us. They do. Watch. The terrorists.
It is a powerful phrase that should inspire every Southwesterner.
The Southwest region is under siege.
Enough is enough, and we can no longer tolerate it.
You are either with us or you are against us.
Your Majesties, the British man says the crown cannot be safe when the cottage is not happy. Those who get angry with the words that come from Belamoki, it's their business. I'm talking for the Southwest. If you ask Southwesterners and they say Belamoki is wrong, crucify me. So you should stop. Some of their agents are here in this meeting. Go and tell them that what Belamoki is saying is in the supreme interest of the people of the Southwest region, guided by inspiration from the one who leads this country and incarnates its institutions, the head of state. So if it helps you, change your ways. Change your ways. The hostilities against the Southwest are too much.
Tell those who think we are weak that we are not weak. They had sinned in the past. They will see it today and they will see it tomorrow. Tell them we stand for one and indivisible Cameroon. Tell them there's no march to Boya.
So you hear that. Okaya Bilai Bernard, citizen of La Republique du Cameroun, begins by the terrorists, and then he hands over to southern Cameroonians to ridicule themselves. You hear one even say, if you are not with us, you are against us. Us who? As someone says, the attacks against the southwest, by who? All those villages that were burnt in the southern zone, were they burnt by Ambazonians? Were they burnt by our self-defense volunteers? Burnt by La République du Cameroun. That videos that captured them in Lebialem, that captured them in Kwakwa, that captured them in villages in Bongé. They saw them. Yet, you hear a lost set of people come and sit and say they have. And they don't recognize that at the level of Yaoundé, they bunch everybody. Yaoundé doesn't know that thing, oh, southwest, northwest, let's treat them separately, let's treat them differently. No. They're talking here about les anglophones. Did you hear that? That's what they're saying here. Les anglophones. Fortunately enough, that's some sane people capable enough of telling this bunch of lunatic calling themselves elites, these lost souls, the truth. Listen to Archbishop Emeritus Cornelius Eshua Fontaine.
There's the cliche that Cameroon is one and indivisible, because it's not true. Culturally, we are divisible. Language-wise, we are divisible. The law-wise, we have inherited that. So anybody who says Cameroon is one and indivisible is a fallacy. And so we would have to handle that issue very squarely and objectively. There's the cliche.
So you get that? That's Archbishop Emeritus Cornelius Fontaine Eshua. Mbelamoki Charles, he is on Coupe Mwanengoba. Archbishop Emeritus Fontaine Eshua, from the hinterlands of the Mbo area, Coupe Mwanengoba. Not the BLM that you often have the habit of saying that they are not even of the southwest, the area you call southwest. He's from Coupe Mwanengoba. He's telling you. He's telling that lost soul calling himself Mayor Boya. And you don't know. What you are saying are lies from the pit of hell. And then look at again. Okaya Bilai Bernard tried to leave this thing. Now with the common man, with our wives, with our mothers, our sisters. But it demonstrated to them that the people of the southern Cameroons know what is going on. That's the good news here. The people, not the soul, misguided and lost souls. Listen.
Strong measures are taken to reinforce the security of the population. But my sisters, my daughters, my mothers, I want us to take our destiny in our hands. We have played a lot. We have covered the killers a lot. When I asked you before the speeches, who are the killers? You say you don't know. Thank God. The Honorable Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly remind you certain facts. And after her intervention, you cannot say that you don't know the killers. So repeat after me. Who are the killers? We don't know. You don't know? Yes. Even after what Honorable Lifaka said, you don't know who are the killers? We don't know. The killers are your brothers. The killers are your children.
So you see, Okaya Bilai Bernard thought that he was talking here to Mbelamoki Charles. He thought that he was talking here to Dr. Eneme. He thought he was talking here to the lunatic calling himself Mayor of Boya. He thought he was talking here to John Gute and the others. He thought he was talking for Tabetando, or that he was talking to Peter Mafane Musonge. He met a match. He was talking to the common man that fortunately enough knows the truth. That is why this resistance has a future. Because those who know the truth are in the very, very huge majority. Those who know the truth. You see, he was ridiculed because he brought a lost soul called Lifaka. And she came and claimed that their children, that her children, that our children, that we, the people of the southern Cameroons, were the ones causing atrocities against ourselves. And he thought he was going to use her useless words to validate it with the masses. They humiliated him. They rather ridiculed him. Where's Lifaka? Okay. Where's Lifaka? Now let's go fast. So the next point, they say, d'ailleurs, Dieu, take very serious note of this. Because like people in Cameroon talks here about their ambition, their readiness to even annihilate all of us. They don't care to attain their objective because they have the backing of France. That's what they say, d'ailleurs, Dieu a plusieurs fois détruit la race humaine pour la reconstruire. Donc, dans cette guerre de notre parti politique contre les anglophones, le nombre de morts ne doit pas compter. Seul compte les vivants actifs. Did you hear that? Le nombre de morts ne doit pas compter. They don't care how many people die. They are ready to slaughter. That's why they, even when they are shouting everywhere in the international community, they are continuing their scorched earth policy unperturbed. They are roasting people alive undisturbed. They are picking anyone they want and shooting, because you now understand why those people who are there have been licensed to kill at random and with reckless abandon. That's why Amadou Ali asked Honorable Wiba, vous allez faire quoi? And listen, folks, be you Bella Moki, be you whosoever, be you Kedia Robert, be you Fu Jonathan Mijini, whom we see celebrating, be you Fu Callistus Gentry, be you Atangaji, they don't give a damn if they're your family member. They are ready to wipe out your entire village to attain their objective. Why? Because they have the backing of France to push that genocide. That's what they say. Donc, dans cette guerre de notre parti politique contre les anglophones, le nombre de morts ne doit pas compter. Seul contre les vivants actifs. And they say, il faut éviter toute forme de pitié pour les anglophones de la part des francophones. Did you hear that? Do everything to make sure no francophone should show pity. They should never find any reason to show pity on our people. That is why they will come, get into school, slaughter our children, and say we did it. So that on the other side, they all see us as villains. They should never have pity for what's going on to us, because we simply deserve what we are getting. And they use Bela Tanga Ponji to do those acts. You want to doubt? Hear from one of their citizens going actually exactly in the direction they want.
S'il vous plaît, appliquez-moi la loi. Je vous en prie. Si vous ne le faites pas, je risquerai moi-même porter les armes pour chercher ce anglophone-là. Ça, je vous le dis une vérité. Il a mis ici contre un gendarme. En plein service. À la zone rouge. Cette zone, à ce moment, c'est une zone rouge. On t'interpelle même tout à pied. Tu dois t'arrêter. Tu dois même à pied. Tu t'arrêtes. C'est un ordre. S'il vous plaît, mes frères, vous-même dites-moi, entre nous, et de ce quoi ces camarades sont placés. On abat, mais mon Dieu, mais écoutez un peu là, mais on abat un gendarme en plein service devant que, je vous le dis en vérité, hein, si c'était moi ce gendarme, oh mais cette petite fille que j'ai abattue. On a perdu la fille. Et le gendarme, la fille est partie, la petite fille, oui, ça fait mal, oui. Le gendarme maintenant est parti. Mais s'il vous plaît, chère population du monde, chères autorités, si j'étais à la place de gendarme, jamais encore mon âme. Et j'ai massacré toute la population avant de mourir. Ça, je veux le dire une vérité.
Did you hear that? Jamais mon âme. Et je massacrais toute la population. This is exactly the kind of thoughts that the government of la Republique du Cameroun wants its citizens to have towards us. It's policy. It's deliberate. That's why people say, oh, the people of la Republique, they are not showing any remorse. They are not doing any of this. They are not bothering. Things are happening to us and they are saying nothing. No, 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 no. It is deliberate. It is the policy of la Republique du Cameroun that things should be that way. They need to make all their citizens see Southern Cameroonians as number one, suspicious, a problem, and people that need to be dealt with. Because in this war, the number of deaths doesn't matter. They are ready to wipe out. Wipe out. So you who is seated abroad, you who are seated abroad, in the diaspora, you have the means to contribute so that we kick la Republique Cameroon out of our land. You sit and you say, I'm not part of this thing again. I'm angry and frustrated. Listen, folk, I am saying this. My name that was given to me when I was baptized was John the Baptist. The voice of one screaming in the wilderness. Don't turn your back against this movement. Some of you say, I'll die, I'll get buried in America, I'll be buried wherever I am, so I don't care. You have family members there to care for. Because la République du Cameroun, you can hear from this document, non-discriminatory. Let's move further because you will hear more. They say, comme les Bamileke, les anglophones doivent être suspects devant chaque francophone. Did you hear that? Comme les Bamileke, there's a chapter on Bamileke, sir. I'll come to it, and that intertwines with us again. That's the subject of another broadcast. But I'll first of all come to elite and the army. So they say, comme les Bamileke, les anglophones doivent être suspects devant chaque francophone. Every single Southern Cameroonian must be treated with suspicion by francophones, by citizens of la République du Cameroun. Did they say here that those from Bamenda or only those from Boya? Did they say here that those who are not in politics, they say, comme les Bamileke, les anglophones. They didn't say quelques anglophones, including Belamoki Charles, including John Gute, including Atanga Njipo, including Fu Jonathan, including Fu Kalisus Gentry, including Gala Gerard. All of them must be treated with suspicion. And they say, l'élément de culture anglaise chez les anglophones devrait disparaître. The Anglo-Saxon culture, that thing that we say we're heritage, common law, this, it has to disappear. Surtout chez les anglophones du Nord-Ouest. It's written here in black and white. Surtout chez les anglophones du Nord-Ouest. Surprising to you that they have to instrumentalize people like Belamoki Charles, people like the so-called Mayor Boya, people like the late Mfon Mukete, who himself is of Momo extraction. Tell the representative of Mfon Mukete, or Bako Mukete, was whatever Mukete. His roots are from Momo. But yet you see, la République du Cameroun believes that if they can demonize the people of the area they call the Northwest the most, they will easily attain their objective. Because they will make those of the so-called Southwest to see those of the Northwest as their problem. It is written here. I'm not fabricating it. It is here. After the end of all of this, I will circulate the original document again. It is written here in black and white. Because it says, l'élément de culture anglaise chez les anglophones devrait disparaître, surtout chez les anglophones du Nord-Ouest. And the end. Les anglophones du Nord-Ouest sont essentiellement Bamileke, alors que ceux du Sud-Ouest sont Sawa, mais nous devons les empêcher d'en prendre conscience. En effet, si les anglophones du Nord-Ouest prennent conscience qui sont les Bamileke, leur solidarité pourra nous nuire gravement. I'm not interested in this part. Because that's not our business. But they say. That's why you hear them say they needed to separate. But that their separation that they've always said they will never. Why some say, oh, they will take the so-called Northwest and merge with the West, and then take the so-called Southwest and merge with the littoral. La République du Cameroun thought of that kind of that kind of thing, but quickly concluded that if they did, because they already have serious issues manipulating people from, they are the ones saying, from the place called Northwest. So if they let them join with the Bamileke again, the force will become too strong, that will become too terrible. We are not Bamileke people. Let them be reminded. My dear brothers and sisters of the Southern Zone, you are not Sawa. We might have some cultural similarities. The fact that a tree grows in water doesn't make it a fish. The fact that a crocodile lives in water, that doesn't make it a fish. Let's be clear about this. I will come back to this because there's other tribute. Look, why they use misguided souls among us to destroy us, those same misguided souls go and sit and celebrate, thinking that by auctioning us, the masses, by destroying the people's collective fight for freedom, for a better society for all of us, they are winning. They are not. This is one useless one among them, celebrating. Fro Jonathan Mujimni. Let's watch his show. So you see, after you auction your people, after you finish with your people, after you cooperate with an evil system to destroy your own people, you come and sit and you celebrate over their blood. That is what it is. But my people of Ambazonia, by our collective determination, we will overcome. Listen, we have to work together. That is the mantra. That is how we will overcome. We have to work together because the power to overcome is still within our reach. By the resilience of our people on ground zero, by the determination and focus of our self-defense volunteers, by the generosity of all of us in the diaspora with means to contribute to this liberation movement, we will be able to weed La République du Cameroun out of our land. Don't forget that their night, that long night of serious daggers flying all over the place is close. They don't hold all the reins. No. The time is coming and they will know it. I want to thank each and every one of us who was on this show. I really want to appreciate you, especially on Ground Zero, who stayed up to watch this show. We started at 9 p.m. That's 9 p.m. on Ground Zero. And now, when I look at it, we should be at about 10:35. Yes, 10:35 p.m. Let's call it here. And I'll be back here in 2 days with a continuation of this very important document. This document is rich, speaks for itself, and it is important for all of us to know the details in this document carefully, because that will help us to set ourselves free. That's my submission. To God be the glory.